take it over.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Council, City staff, and guests. Welcome tonight. Have the pleasure tonight of introducing 3 new employees. So we're going to first start with Dispatcher Tanya Toscano. If you'll step up here, please, Tanya. If you recognize the last name, Tanya's sister, Officer Paulina Toscano, is our school resource officer for the police department. But Tanya, step right up here. Let me just give you a little information about Tanya. So please welcome Dispatcher Tanya Toscano. Tanya was born and raised in the city of Huntington Park. After graduating from Huntington Park High School, she attended California State University, Los Angeles, where she studied engineering. Tanya spent the previous 8 years as a service advisor in the automotive industry. Tanya changed careers into police dispatching to finding new ways to help people. She is excited to serve the residents of Desert Hot Springs in an emergency response role as a first responder. Tanya is passionate about learning new skills and is always up for the challenge. Her trainers, colleagues, and supervisors have made a major impact, and she looks forward to working in the city for years to come. It is her pleasure and privilege to join this amazing team and provide service to our growing community. So please join me in welcoming Dispatcher Tanya Toscano. And you get to say hello.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya. I want to thank everybody for coming and being here. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity I've been given. Special shout out to Tom, wherever Tom. He made the hiring process very simple and very easy. All the dispatchers, staff, police, everybody has been very, very gracious and very helpful. It's kind of difficult to go and transition into something as heavy as being a dispatcher or, being the eyes and ears of our policemen and women. So, it's really nice to have everybody be very encouraging and always telling me that they're going to have my back no matter what. And I feel as if everyone has been very helpful in every situation possible. And I just want to let everybody know that you are in really good hands with our officers and our dispatchers. They do everything that they can. Our CSOs, our animal control, everybody's always trying their very, very best. And I just want to say thank you again to Shaw. You've been great so far. I've only been with you for a little while, but I hope to stay for a long time.
Give it time.
Yeah, but just that's all I got to say about that. But thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Don't go far when we're done with the picture. Just stand by. You got to go at this side here.
Okay.
That one will lock you in.
The lie.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. And she's done a fantastic job. She came to us without any public safety dispatching experience and has done amazing over in our dispatch center. So, all right, next, Community Service Officer Gabriela Camacho. Come on up, Gabriela. All right, very excited to welcome Gabriela to the team. So please welcome me and congratulating and joining Community Service Officer Gabriela Camacho. So Gabriela was born and raised in Redlands, California. She moved to Beaumont when she was 11 years old. CSO Camacho later attended and graduated from Beaumont High School. While attending Beaumont High School, she became a police explorer for the Beaumont Police Department. At that time, she attended 2 Explorer Academies and was later promoted to Explorer Sergeant. Soon after leaving the Explorer program, she attended College of the Desert, where she obtained her Level 3 Basic Police Officer Post Certification. So CS Camacho is excited to serve and grow with the Desert Hot Springs community. And just a side note, we are putting together a Police Explorer program in Desert Hot Springs, and CSO Camacho has volunteered to assist us with that and be an advisor with the Explorer. So she's going to be a great addition to that team also. So welcome to the team, Gabrielle. And you get to say hello.
Hi, I'm Gabby. Thank you, Tom, for reaching out to me for this opportunity. It means a lot. It's a little difficult trying to find a CSO spot with any department. but I'm thankful for everyone for this opportunity as well. I'm excited to grow the city and the department. Just excited to see what the future holds for me here.
Don't go far, we'll take pictures when we're done, okay? All right, and last but not least, if I can get Officer Jessica Corona to step up. Another one, very excited to have Jessica joining the team here. So please welcome new police officer Jessica Corona. Officer Corona was born, yes. Officer Corona was born and raised in Coachella, California. She attended and graduated from College of the Desert and received her AA degree in liberal arts. Officer Corona then attended the Riverside County Sheriff's Modular Academy and graduated in May 2023. Officer Corona previously worked at the Superior Court of California in the Criminal Department. Before that, Officer Corona worked for the Department of Public Social Services. She has always been interested in public service, which led her to proceed with her law enforcement career with the Desert Hot Springs Police Department. Officer Corona is grateful for this opportunity to serve the residents of the city of Desert Hot Springs, and we are excited to have her on the team. So congratulations. And I am going to ask Officer Corona's daughter, Leah Corona, to come on up. Leah is going to do the badge pinning, and then after the badge pinning, then Gerald will administer the oath of office. And I'm glad you can do it because I don't want to stick your mom. So this is open here, and I'm going to have you guys somewhere where they can see a picture of you there too, though.
She might want to stay. No pressure.
All right, congratulations. And Leah, you can stay up here with your mom and Jessica. You're going to come over here, and then Gerald will walk you through the rest here.
Okay.
Good evening. Please raise your right hand. Do you, Jessica Corona, solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic?
I do.
That you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California?
I do.
That you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion?
I do.
And that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you're about to enter?
I do.
Congratulations.
So I want to thank everybody, my family for the support, sergeants that are here, my FTOs that are here for putting up with me. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Chief Shaw, putting up with me too. I know I've been a handful. I'm looking forward to experiencing with Desert Hot Springs. I've been here a couple months now. It's nice to see the turnaround that, I'm from the Coachella Valley, so it's nice to see the turnaround that the police officers have been making. And I'm looking forward to helping with that. And then thank Tom for the process was very easy. And the staff is very supportive. I love it. It's a very good family net orientation. So if you want to come to Desert Hot Springs, perfect. But thank you.
So, and I just want to reiterate, we're really excited to have the three new individuals as part of our team. And if you didn't see the common theme there, it's all three females, so it's fantastic to bring more females into the public safety profession. But they've been a great addition to the team so far, and I'd be excited to watch them as they grow within the department and the city. I know great things are to come from them. So welcome to the team. Very excited to have you guys. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you. And Mayor, that's it for me.
Thank you, Chief Shaw. We have no other presentations tonight. Before we recess, to all our public safety staff, thank you for everything you're doing. To all our new staff, please be safe, and we appreciate everything you do for our city on behalf of the City Council. We're going to recess until 6 o'clock. Feel free to use the dais for pictures if you choose to. All right, good evening, everybody. It is 6 o'clock, and we are going to get this meeting started. We've got a long agenda. No, we don't. I'm just joking. I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the City of Desert Hot Springs regular meeting of the City Council, and the City Council serving as the successor agency to the former Redevelopment Agency Board for Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. This is our 6 p.m. regular session. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pitts. Present. Councilmember Pai.
Present.
Councilmember Voss.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Gardner.
Present.
And Mayor Mattis.
Present. And we have the honor of Elder Flo Smith of Word of Life Fellowship Church here with us tonight. She also has a role with our police department as our Desert Hot Springs Police Records Specialist. Did I get the title right? I always seem to mess up everybody's titles. But your capacity today is that mic? You're going to have to turn that mic around so they can hear you. And she is here to give us our invocation tonight.
Amen. Can you hear me?
We can.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you all for this honor to just be before you. I know you see me at a different capacity throughout the work week, but God's job is never done. I just want to thank you all for the mayor, everyone else, and all of our council members and leaders and fire department, please everyone in your respective places. But this time I just want to take this time to give honor to God. Amen. Father, we just come to you, Lord, just giving you thanks on today. Father, for putting us in our right mind and putting us in positions to make a change. In your word in Matthew 9:37, it states that the harvest is plenty, but the labors are few. Father, I'm praying that here in Desert Hot Springs, Lord, that anything that we see fit that needs to be done, that you equip us with the knowledge and the tools and the love to complete those tasks. Father, I pray that you just watch over everyone that's here under the sound of my voice. Everyone is here not by mistake, Lord. It's because you placed them here for a purpose, and the purpose is to see this city and all the surrounding cities succeed. Lord, as we go through with this meeting, we pray that everyone is in their sound mind, that they're on one accord, and we're doing everything that we can do to beautify this place. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Ms. Pai, would you lead us? All right, we'll move to City's Attorney's Report on closed session, which will be none because we had no closed session. We can approve I'm asking that we approve the agenda. And at this time, is there anyone that would like to pull any items from the consent calendar? If there's none, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on any items on the consent calendar?
Yes.
Which item, sir?
The number 3.
Yes, please come forth. State your name. This will be item number 3, which is the second reading and adoption of the camping restrictions ordinance.
Ooh, glad I made it right on time, huh? They're just gonna slide that one through. Hi, my name is Elliot Lou Griffin, and I am a resident of Desert Hot Springs. Actually, the second reading, I would like to turn to the city attorney because I would like her to hear this as well. I am going to, is the clock started already?
It has.
Oh, where's it at so I can see? Oh.
We'll get it up on the screen.
Alrighty, so I'd like to turn to the city attorney. Okay, so under this camping amendment, it was a Supreme Court order, right? So the Supreme Court was just asked one question. Does this apply to the 8th Amendment? And they says no, not inherently so. It does not inherently apply. Something has to happen for it to apply to the 8th Amendment. They have to see something before. So all they were asked was this a question of the 8th Amendment? And they said no. Now, they didn't apply it to the 5th or the 14th Amendment, the due process rights. Had they applied it to the 5th and 14th due process rights, they would have learned that they couldn't do this. Now, what the Supreme Court did was effectively sidestep this issue, and what they did was just made no ruling at all. See, had they come back and said, well, under all the constitutions and amendment, nothing applies to them, and you can kick them out of here. Then they didn't say that. They just was asked the question under the 8th Amendment, and they said, no, under the 8th Amendment, I'm sorry, that doesn't apply. It was like a mockery to all the attorneys for failing to even allege this claim right. You're at the Supreme Court of the United States. It was like a mockery on them. I'm so sorry. But now, so what I would like the city to do is reverse this. It's a legal procedure under the 5th and 14th Amendment. I know I'm running out of time. I would like you guys to reverse this. Honestly, it is. Now, under the 8th Amendment, it doesn't inherently apply. Everybody knows that. And then it was like the Indians. They couldn't move them without a place to send them to. Now, I know there's a lot of feces and stuff around because we don't have any porta potties. We don't have any porta bathrooms. We don't have anything. I said, well, maybe the city would be willing to give up at least one park because they got bathrooms and everything. But so what I'm going to do is ask you guys to reverse this, honestly, under the 5th and 14th Amendment due process because the Supreme Court just sidestepped the issue. Then I would turn and say that, you know what, to go after them for a federal court order, even if the federal court did say that, I would turn and say, hey, they look like marijuana to me. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry. We don't go after the marijuana, so we ain't going to go after them. You know what I mean? I know we all want to clean it up. I gave a lot of solutions. I did give up a petition to access the hub. I'm sorry my dad passed away, and I just haven't did anything. I quit. Honestly, that's what happened to Elliot. You haven't seen Elliot. My father passed away. He was under cancer treatment, and the cancer treatment just didn't work. So I'm sorry, please reverse this order. And I mean, we could talk about all we could do to help the city and help everything. Please, thank you guys.
I appreciate you. We're sorry for your loss, Elliot. A question back to, was anybody else who'd like to speak on any items on the consent calendar? On the consent calendar or the regular calendar? Yeah, no, we'll wait. We'll come to that in a little bit. City Council have any desire to pull any items from the consent calendar? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Consent calendar has been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, we'll move to public comments. At this time, pursuant to the Brown Act, any person may comment on matters of general interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council not listed on the agenda. Under the Brown Act, the City Council shall not take action on or discuss matters raised during the public comment portion of the agenda that are not listed on the agenda. All comments are to be directed to the City Council and shall be devoid of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during public comments. First one I have is Daniel Medina. Are you satisfied?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
wait for the results and perhaps an update in the next meeting.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Abraham for Varzan. Is that close? Sorry about that.
Like Tarzan, start with F. Hi. First time I speak in front of a microphone, I have to open this here. Yeah, my name is Abraham Farzan, and I'm the developer of Green Day Village, Desert Hot Spring, at 19155 Palm Drive. This project has been entitled since November 14, 2023 for affordable tiny modular workforce housing with a 608 home and later added 216 tiny apartments by Palm Drive, totaling of 824 homes and 30,000 square feet of commercial space. I'm here tonight to respectfully highlight the importance of public infrastructure improvement tied to the Green Day Village, particularly the widening of Palm Drive in front of the project, about 1,300 linear feet, and 2-mile extension of sewer and water lines from the newly constructed recreation center by the I-10 freeway near Amazon warehouse. These are critical to making this project viable and delivering much needed housing to the city of Desert Hot Spring. I was originally introduced to a potential funding solution through a group called Sustainable Partners and Origin USA, facilitated by former city manager Frank Lucchino. Am I right? He's not working here anymore. Hi, by the way. How are you? By Frank Lucchino. I was informed that the legal documents were exchanged between Origin USA and the city attorney's office, but unfortunately the process stalled after Mr. Lucchino's departure. My respectful request tonight is, how can we get assistance to keep the review of the documents submitted to Frank and the General Counsel going forward? This review will give the board the information to determine whether they will approve support to assist this project. Private financing, whether through equity partners or tax-exempt bond for these affordable tiny homes, cannot move forward until public financing is in place.
Mr. Ferrazzi, your 3 minutes are up. Can you wrap up?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the. I hope we can work together to restart the discussion and keep this vital project moving. Thank you. I'm sorry I passed that.
No worries. We hope to keep that open also. Make sure
Yeah.
Doria touches base with you, okay?
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Next speaker is Eric, is it Mendez? Menendez? No worries.
Hello, good
See
afternoon.
mine.
So I was here probably last month, I think, or end of January. I had a little fever and stuff. Wasn't really making a lot of sense. But I just wanted to touch base briefly on our regional passport we're working on and the concept of what we're trying to do with gateway cities. If you look at scenic.org, they talk about gateway cities and the importance they play to the national park. In 29 Palms, I know Mr. Clark and former manager Lucchino, and we worked a lot with tourism when we opened Freedom Plaza up in 29 Palms. And I can't believe it was 3 years ago, and not a lot has happened up there because the communities aren't working together and there's not a lot of civic engagement. So what we have done, what I and a group of people have tried to set off to help to do is try to engage the community to get everyone to work together, to get 29 Palms to work with Yucca Valley, and then you have this big swatch of San Bernardino County in the middle. And then we have the park, which we know is divided by the county line of Riverside. I've reached out to our county representatives. Unfortunately, they haven't been quick to engage with me, but we are making a little bit of progress. It's taking some time. But what we have started to do is I've started to engage with the gateway communities on this side of the park, and there's a lot of interest because, as you know, in probably the next 5 years, the Cottonwood entrance, there's going to be some improvements and so forth. And I'm sure the folks in Indio and Coachella are going to be doing some improvements between now and then, and there's going to be a greater interest in the park. So I did put a few packets. I've been talking to Ms. Doria on this. It's going to look like a real passport. And it's not just a novelty tool. My goal is to make it to be an educational tool or something to engage the public, not just our tourists and our visitors, but our locals and our businesses. One of the things I'm working on as well with our top 5 initiatives is a draft regional tourism impact study. One of the things we did as my prior company in property management did, and one thing we worked with your community development director who was up there then, is our Good Neighbor class. It's for vacation rentals. So at the time we had a moratorium pending on vacation rentals, and we helped the city come up with a way to kind of do a class to educate operators so they would operate responsibly. I'm kind of applying the same principle to do the tourism impact study, but what I'm going to do is deploy it across both sides of the park on these gateway cities. I forgot to bring handouts of it today, but I will email the clerk. But it's just something I wanted to put on the radar to hopefully work with Desert Hot Springs, because we're having great response from Palm Springs and Indio and Coachella, and I just think that we can work together and take care of one another as neighbors, even though we're like on the opposite side of the county. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Elliot Lou Griffin?
Elliot Lou Griffin. I do have a company, Make America Amazing. I did submit a proposal for the hub. We all seen how it turned out. Now, I did come in here and I did submit a proposal. I know it was verbal, but it was for 104. I called it a RV resort now to take in the homeless. I'm up to 110 now. I'm looking at 2 properties. I'm asking that we work on something that solves the problem, not work on something that creates a bigger problem. So that would be it. I know you all heard of there's more than one way to skin a cat, and I will tell you there's more than one way to keep the cat from getting skinned. And I think that if we reverse our judgment and go the other way, I think that we would be in a better position. We did talk about what no income is, where the people have no jobs, you know, and what are they? I mean, everybody's talking about low and affordable rent. What about no income? What about the people who, so in the proposal that I did verbal, I did say that, look, we'll just hand them the keys and hey, they can move in just rent free if we all just work a deal. You know, they could just all move in rent free and whatever it costs on taxes would just, if I made $1 off of it, it's successful. Do you see what I mean? If I just, that's where I talk. They could give all their money to the nonprofits and they continuously have their hand out. Martha's Village, I told them before they even, in Palm Springs, I told them before they even started. I said, you guys could have bought all the Agua Dulce houses before building the 80 units that they did. They spent $40 million on it. I told them you could have bought all Agua Dulce houses for that. And it's only 73 homes in the Agua Dulce community. So you would have been an HOA owner. You know, so it's a whole lot of stuff. So I think there's more than one way to keep the cat from getting skinned. I would like to see the people look more at compassion, look more at, like, you know, I would say my dad just died. Everybody say, I haven't seen Elliot since. No equation. So I'm just asking for a little compassion. I am asking that, hey, I'll come down here, give you guys all my ideas. I'll come down here and work with you. I'm willing to call everybody involved. I'm just looking to see if we could do just a 180. We can't push the people out into the public and then push the people out of the public. Do you see what I mean? We pushed them out to the public because rent has got too out of control. Our rent control didn't work. I could keep going forever. I'm so sorry. But if we could just go another route, you know, do a complete 360, and I think that it'll work. I'll give you guys all my ideas. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. I have no other public comments tonight. Does anybody else want to speak in public comments on items not on the agenda? All right, we'll close public comments and move to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Good evening. We have an update tonight from Roberta Cernick, our Community Recreation and Community Services Director.
Don't have me do it. I'll mess it up.
The title gets me every time.
I'm going to get her title right when she retires.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, residents. A couple of announcements. I just wanted to remind everyone that our spring break camp registration is open at the Desert Hot Springs Recreation Center. It will be open April 7th through the 18th. It's $50 for 2 weeks. It's open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. So if parents are looking for a place for their kids to go, this is the place. We have lots of fun activities planned and two field trips planned as well. And then finally, I'm really excited to introduce, we have an outdoor adventure challenge running April 1st. So it starts today through May 31st. This initiative is actually inspired by Mayor Pro Tem Gary Gardner's love for the outdoors and his vision to encourage our community to explore the natural beauty surrounding Desert Hot Springs. The challenge invites residents to explore several locations in and around our city. To participate, all you have to do is pick up a passport here at City Hall, and we actually give you a free reusable water bottle. You visit 3 of the 6 locations, snap some photos, and then claim your prize. If you visit all 6 locations, you'll be entered into a grand prize drawing for an America the Beautiful annual pass and a special gift bag filled with goodies from the Joshua Tree National Park Association. So this is an opportunity to connect with nature, promote outdoor recreation, and strengthen our community's appreciation for the environment. So we invite everyone to participate and make this challenge a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberta. Just another general update for the community. I know this is something that the city gets quite often, and I'm sure all of you are also getting it, and that is, where are we at with the animal hospital? So I know it was at the last council meeting, but just as a reminder to everybody, at the last council meeting, the city council did authorize for the purchase and sale of the animal hospital to Greater Palm Springs Animal Allies. So at this point, staff is working on finalizing the execution of those documents, and we're working through the formal authorization process, because it is a charitable asset, with the AG and the DOJ to allow for that transition to occur. So everything is moving along smoothly, and fingers crossed, waiting on that vet license, veterinary license that they will need to hold, and hoping to get that facility up by late May. I'm very careful and cognizant of not providing a timeline for them, but I know that that has been their goal. So we will continue to provide updates to the community at this meeting moving forward, but that is the latest and greatest that I have, is that everything is on track. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move the mayor and council member comments. Which way did I start last time?
Start this end.
Start this end this time? Mr. Pitts.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. This is my City Council update for April 1st, 2025. On March 20th, I attended the Big Heart Rotary Awards alongside our Mayor and City Council colleagues. We enjoyed a delightful dinner while celebrating our city's outstanding performers. And Judith Dunas was honored as our 2024 Staff Person of the Year. Congratulations once again to Judith. This year's slogan for this event was really great. This was the slogan. So the slogan was honoring those who give their heart to Desert Hot Springs. I thought that was really cool. On March 25th, I participated in a ribbon cutting and groundbreaking ceremony of our new police department annex building, together with our new Chief of Police, Steve Shaw, the mayor, and all city council members. The local press did cover the significant occasion, highlighting an exciting time for growth and our public safety efforts within our police department. March 27th, I attended my very first 2025 Senior Inspirations Award ceremony at an event center in Indio. This was both a big and memorable event. Our city's mayor and council, of course, was there, along with other dignitaries from various cities within the Coachella Valley. They recognized their senior inspirational recipients. So Sally Hedberg was our city's choice. She is a dedicated volunteer and advocate for Desert Hot Springs. Sally truly deserves this recognition, and we thank Sally for her service. All right, my last one. On March 29th, I organized and hosted our very first town hall meeting for District 2. The event was a great success, with many attendees from various neighborhoods contributing to lively discussion. Guests enjoyed a selection of delicious appetizers and a coffee bar. We were honored to have City Council member Jan Pai in attendance, along with our Chief of Police, Chief Steve Shaw, Interim City Manager Dory Whelms, and our District 2 Police Officer, Officer Ramirez, and Lonnie Brock from our Code Compliance Department. And she's also part of our District 2 representative. After the presentation, we had a brief Q&A. The town hall was well received, and I want to commend our city staff for their efforts in highlighting all of the new and exciting developments happening within the new Desert Hot Springs. Thank you once again to the entire city staff for making this first event a success. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That completes my update.
Mr. Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As Ms. Cernick mentioned, we have our outdoor adventure. Can I have my passport? This is really cool. And you all know how excited I get about outdoor recreation and about our beautiful desert and stuff. And this was an idea that the Utah State Parks Association started up there. And I sent Roberta a note and said, hey, let's see if we can do something like that down here. And before I could turn around, she'd already done it all. So thank you for acknowledging me, but you're the one that did it all. And I really hope that, I want y'all out there watching to get your kids and go do this, because this is going to be fun, and you're going to get to see a lot of really cool stuff. around the desert and here in Desert Hot Springs. Along with the rest of my colleagues, we all attended the Rotary Big Heart Awards and the Police Annex groundbreaking and the Senior Inspiration Awards. Great to honor, as Mr. Pitts mentioned, Sally Hedberg. Those of us have known Sally for a long time. Sally is 83, 84, I don't know. She had mentioned it there, and I don't think she'll be upset if we said it, but I thought it was 83 or 84. And she is just a little dynamo, and she does a lot with the Friends of the Desert Hot Springs Library, as well as some of our homeless outreach stuff. And she is just, she's just wonderful, and it was well deserved. Although I have to tell you, the lunch and the whole event was a little bit distressing to me, because I go to an awards ceremony and have my friend Anthony Bashu, who was in Cathedral City. He was their nominee, and he does a lot of work in that city. And not because he wasn't deserving of the award, but dang it, he's younger than I am. And I don't like going to a senior awards banquet and they're giving awards to people younger than me. It just kind of was an odd experience, a little unnerving. Ms. Pye and I attended the Brothers of the Desert Wellness Summit last weekend. The Brothers is an organization of African-American gay men and their allies, and our former Public Safety Commissioner, Martin Mitchell, is on their board of directors. It was a wonderful day, great, and a lot of inspiring presentations. Attended the annual Food Now Chili Cook-Off fundraiser. Last year's reigning champion, our own mayor, sadly did not win this year. But I did want to congratulate one of our city residents who comes here fairly often to speak to us, Walker Beverly. He took home the third place trophy this year. And you know, all due respect, in my mind, it was a tie between the two of you this year. It was really good. His chili was quite good, as was the mayor's. Anyway, it's always a great event for our own local food bank, Food Now. And lastly, I had a couple of opportunities in the last couple of weeks to attend some informational sessions that Oswett Land Trust has put on in their efforts. They want to purchase the old Desert Dunes golf course on the edge of the city, out there on Palm, and they've got the option to do it, and they're actually managing the property right now. Mayor came, city manager, Councilmember Pitts joined us at one of the sessions. Oswett has plans to turn that old golf course into a spectacular nature preserve and education center, and using the clubhouse there. And they had the land under a purchase agreement pending funding. Plan is to have an educational center, guided nature tours, even a desert tortoise recovery center there in the shop building. And it'll be a great benefit to all of us here in Desert Hot Springs. They're in the fundraising process right now. They need $5 million to match the $5 million they already have got in grant funding. If you have $5 million sitting around, they will actually name the building after you, you know, so anybody that has $5 million, Abe, I'm sure, you know, you so, but anyway, they're in the process of raising their funds to do that, and I know they're meeting with the county and others, and the Mountains Conservancy that I serve on has pledged $1 million, and so I think we're going to get there. But if you want to get involved, or you want to attend one of their informational sessions, or you have some ways of raising some funds for them, let me know, and we'll get you in touch with them. That's all I've got.
Ms. Pye?
On the 26th, do the right thing. We always have a Desert Hot Springs person. And so this time, also our police chief was there. And never had a police chief there, but he had to work because I only go up when a student of Desert Hot Springs is involved. He had to stand there through everyone being involved. This time it was Lydia Givens from Painted Hills Middle School. And Lydia received a plaque, a certificate of commendation, and a prize package valued at $700. And she was featured on KESQ Channel 3. The nomination read, and this young lady is in the 7th grade. I am honored to nominate Lydia Givens for recognition due to her exemplary leadership and unwavering commitment to her peers. Lydia consistently goes above and beyond to support her classmates, often providing tutoring sessions and offering guidance on the navigating of the complex challenges that middle school students encounter. Her calm and positive demeanor serves as a beacon of encouragement for those around her. Lydia embodies the essence of proactive leadership. She equally seizes opportunity to initiate and drive positive change within our school community, setting commemoratory examples for her peers. Her willingness to assist is boundless. I can rely on her to undertake any task, always with enthusiasm and without expectation of reward. She's only in the 7th grade. I told her and her parents that all of the things that was in her nomination proves that she's a leader, and we're going to expect that of her going forward. Also, I attended, got an invitation from Palm Springs Unified School District. They did a thing on sex trafficking. It was very hard to view, but it is necessary. For the kids under 18 were not allowed to come unless they were with an adult. And I'll just leave it at that. It was difficult, but I think it was necessary. The Desert Hot Springs Women's Club met today, and they are having a spring barbecue on April 12th at Dillon's Burgers and Beer, and I have tickets for the council to purchase. Also, RAP is an organization, and people know I'm a part of RAP, but I wanted to share with you, RAP is an organization, Regional Access Project Foundation, that does things, grants for nonprofit organizations. And this was set up by the 4th District. And they give grants to people who are nonprofit. And in fact, for the Senior Inspiration Award, RAP gave $1,000 to each person as long as it was within RAP's mission statement. And Sally gave $1,000 to the library. And also, tomorrow, Sally is doing a program for the library, and it's with the Board of Education regarding Read Me, and it's for elementary schools. Also, Giving Day was a thing that RAP did recently, and during that, nonprofits who participated received $824,045, and 10 of the organization, which was some of them were nonprofits here, if they did 10 unique donations, they received $5,000 apiece. RAP is getting ready to do a fast pitch, which Dana with Food Now, and also Melody Lyons with our senior center won last year. And so if people are interested, they should contact Regional Access Project. They give you training for this. It's a 3-minute speech. And what happens is you win money upwards of 20,000 and maybe more. But if there's people that also attend, and they are attending for one thing, and then another thing they find out is what they are passionate about. Dana won more money. Melody won $35,000 in addition to what she won, and her purpose was autism. So I'm asking you, it's free money. All you have to do is time. And it's Regional Access Project. And with that, I'm done.
Thank you. Mr. Voss?
Sir, super quick, I attended the Big Hearts Award, a lot of great comments on it, so I won't repeat that. Attended the groundbreaking for the police department building, definitely a much needed one, and welcoming that, and I'm sure the staff is welcoming that as well. Looking forward to seeing that getting built. Let's see, the senior inspiration, and Sally is 88 years old, by the way. 88. And I love what I thought was really cool, that I thought was each awardee of they let them do a video, and they got to kind of talk a little bit about what they were doing and why they did it, where they were donating stuff. But one of the things Sally said, I remember she made the comment that it's so important for seniors to get out and volunteer and not stay at home and be unhappy. And those were her exact words, which were very true, right? So that was good. And then I just had a comment, is over the weekend, well, now with all the high winds, I've had 5 calls regarding the dust vacant lot on Hacienda. Maybe you can just give council an update at some point. Otherwise, that's it.
Thank you, sir. I also attended the Big Heart Awards, where I just wanted to take a minute and thank Rotary for all the good work you do in the community. Each year, this is the 9th annual Big Heart Awards here in Desert Hot Springs. And when I first was elected mayor, each mayor in the past has given awards out at different events, and so I asked to jump on the Big Heart Awards and be able to give my community awards out during this event, and they allowed me to for 9 years in a row, so I appreciate them. I just wanted to give a shout out to the Big Heart Awards, and this mentioned earlier, the theme was superheroes in our community. Ms. Cleberson was the elementary school teacher of the year, Ms. Mitchell was the middle school teacher of the year, and Mr. Hogan was the high school teacher of the year. Ms. Fenton, who is the principal at Two Bunch Palm School, and I happened to go to an event the next day, and she was there, and she had told me she was working on her 30th year in education. Pretty awesome, and she's been here for a long time in Desert Hot Springs. She was the principal of the year. Alan Ocean, I know I'm going to say this wrong. Achenbun. Is that close enough? I got a little twist there. He was the Veteran of the Year, and he's also a Rotarian here in Desert Hot Springs. Desert Hot Springs Library was Community Partner of the Year, and some little coffee joint here in town called Espresso Self was, Abe's in the audience, was the Small Business of the Year. Congratulations. Judith, who works in our Public Works Department, she's awesome. She received the Staff Member of the Year for this for the city. Officer Corona was the Officer of the Year. Jeff Nutter, who works at the Mission Springs Water District, was Person of the Year there. Captain Bragas, is that close enough? He was our Firefighter of the Year. Father's Heart Ranch, who is a nonprofit just outside the city limits, and they house foster kids and throughout the state here, and they were the nonprofit of the year. Susan, and I always say her last name wrong too, it's Kabehi. She was the Volunteer of the Year, and Ocean Springs Tech was the Large Business of the Year. So congratulations to all of you for everything you did. And as mentioned, Sally Hedberg was our Senior Inspiration of the Year this year. I've been honored as the mayor. I don't get a lot of single duties without the council's full support, meaning that they have to vote on it. But this is one of those awardees that I actually get to pick each year as the mayor. And she's obviously done a lot of work in our community with the homeless, with the Friends of the Library, and many other organizations. And she was very thrilled with her family to receive that from the county. Let's see, the same night as the Big Heart Awards, there was an event here in the Valley. It was called Drone Fest. And if you haven't seen this, it's pretty awesome. So in Korea, it's become really big. It's drone soccer. And as we all know, drones have taken on a bigger event in our lives over time. And they were actually able to bring the Drone Fest here to the Palm Springs Unified School District, who hosted it in Palm Springs. But the event coordinators are from Desert Hot Springs, and they held the opening get-together for all of the teams coming in from all over the world here in Desert Hot Springs. And I believe there was 5 or 6 teams from around the world. And we were at Miracle Springs, and we got to say a few words and meet them. The next day, we were invited to Palm Springs High School to see this festival kick off, and they had an opening ceremony. They had a really cool 700 drones, Doria? 600 drones? Something like that. It was a lot of drones. They went in the air, they did a bunch of stuff, but they had the city logo, Palm Springs Unified School logo, all the sponsors' logos made in drones and lights, and it was a pretty awesome event. This is the first annual here in America, and there's actually an international competition in Korea. There's actually a federation, and a member of our community owns the rights to the American portion of that, and this thing's going to grow over time. Pretty excited. All the schools in the school district participated in the amateur portion of it, and were able to go on Saturday, and they spent all day in this drone soccer competition. I don't know a lot about Harry Potter, but Quidditch? This is similar to that with drones. So if you haven't had a chance, you should look it up. Drone Fest. It was pretty awesome. There was over 1,000 people that attended this, and it's going to grow over time. It's been a long time since we've been awaiting this to happen, but our police department was able to break ground on our new police annex. This is so important to our community as this, I want to say grant, it was not grant money. Where did we get the funding from? Bonds, thank you, thank you. I should have looked over here, the guy in charge of our money. The bonds that we approved back in 17, 18? 8. Oh, wow, I thought we approved them earlier than that.
It was the earlier bonds for the annex.
Oh. Either way, yeah. We talked a lot about bonds in certain areas, and this was been talked about for a long time. We were able to break ground on it, and it was very important to us. So about a year from now, the police department will have their annex and be able to expand their services and make everybody more comfortable. Food Now held their annual chili cook-off, and yes, I was awarded as the champion last year, and I was dethroned this year, but it was pretty awesome. As mentioned, Walker Beverly, a local resident, Eric Pontius, local bar owner here in town, won second place, and I wanted to say his name was Richard, and I forget his last name, but he was the winner. He sat next to me with his chili. It was very good. He actually started his journey here in Desert Hot Springs as a homeless vet, and was able to come up here and utilize our services, and Food Now was an organization that he was able to utilize and get food, and now he lives in a home, and he's taking care of himself, and he wanted to give back to the community, so he was part of the chili cook-off, and he won. And then tomorrow, if you have time at 11 o'clock, thank you, I was going to say 10:30, it's not 10:30, it's 11. At 11 o'clock at the corner of Hacienda and Arroyo Park, Arroyo Drive, what used to be called Royal Park, which is between Palm and right at Cactus, basically. We will have the groundbreaking for the first phase of the Hacienda revitalization project of the streets. So we'll be revitalizing that roadway and reconstructing it with sidewalks and new roadways from Choya or West Drive, Danny? From Choya? West to Tamar, thank you very much. I got no information correct tonight. But it'd be awesome to have you there if you can. This phase 2 will start about a year from now, and Hacienda will be fully remodeled, and we'll get some paint down on the road so people can see those lanes. And then lastly, I just wanted to thank my wife, First Lady of the City. She attended the Desert Springs Middle School Career Fair. I was supposed to attend, she was supposed to attend as a nurse, I was supposed to attend as the mayor, and at the last minute I had a work engagement that came up, and I wanted to thank our staff who attended for me and was able to talk to those middle school kids at their careers for the future. So with all that said, if you can understand my gibberish there, we are going to move, first of all, so there's a new, I don't even know how we say this, Jennifer. It's an act that we must disclose So it's called the Conflict of Interest and Levine Act Disclosures. And
Correct.
we're supposed to announce this before we get to our administrative or public hearings and give the council the opportunity to disclose any, I'll let you explain it.
Sure, correct.
I can't
So
think of
this
words
is just
tonight.
the item that we placed on the agenda. If there are any disclosures that need to be made under the Levine Act, this would be a time that, I know that this is the first time that the city council is seeing this on the agenda. It's a brand-new law, and it's pretty much anything over, if a developer has made a contribution, a campaign contribution in the amount of $250 or more, you would need to disclose that and then recuse yourself from voting. You don't have anything like that on the agenda this evening, so I don't see an issue. We don't have to go through this rigmarole every time either. It will just be on there just as a reminder for council to disclose if and when they need.
We've always disclosed ourselves because of our own ordinances.
Yes.
But this is a state law.
Correct. This is state law.
And so what I'll do to make it easy for everybody is when we get to this item, I'll just ask, is there any disclosures? So you can make those. You still need to recuse yourself on those items when they get there, but this is just double covering everybody. And it's not just developers, anybody gives you $250,000.
Correct. It's anybody who gets
$250.
$250. I use a developer as an example.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Yes.
No worries. Good?
So Jennifer, would that include a resident? Or, I mean, only if they had a matter before us?
That is correct.
That night?
That is correct. So you couldn't vote on a matter that is before you that evening if somebody has made that kind of campaign contribution. So in this case, we don't have anything. There's nothing here this evening. But if you do have any questions, you could always feel free to call me as well.
Okay.
Just to double check, but correct, it would be somebody before before the city council.
Okay.
Who's actually
Perfect.
getting, yeah.
It's clear as mud. All right. Administrative calendar, we have one item tonight. It's item number 1, cannabis retail sales tax. Ms. Newsom?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. In 2014, the City Council planned to permit 4 cannabis storefront retailers and received 19 applications. A lottery system was implemented and 16 applicants referred to as authorized applicants were ultimately approved. In 2017, the council prohibited the transfers of these permits until all permitting processes were completed. A cannabis storefront with an active conditional use permit can be sold once it receives a certificate of occupancy and regulatory permit. However, due to the city cap, if a storefront retail permit is revoked or suspended, it is permanently lost. Only 5 of the original 16 applicants are operational, with 1 permitted but not operating, 2 in process, and several having withdrawn or had their permits revoked. Only 4 storefronts were consistently open from January 2020 to December 2024, with 1 operating under different ownerships. These 5 facilities have paid $7.5 million in taxes to Desert Hot Springs over 5 years. Desert Hot Springs was one of the first cities in California to legalize cannabis cultivation, manufacturing, and sales, leading to significant industry growth. However, as other cities adopted more favorable tax structures, the city faced lagging growth and increased financial burdens due to high security costs, dropping wholesale prices, and competition from the illicit market. In response, Desert Hot Springs enacted measures in 2024 to alleviate financial pressures on cannabis operators. On February 20th, the City Council reduced the cultivation tax from $10.20 to $5.75 per square foot effective April 4th. Additionally, on March 5th, the council approved a regulation requiring annual permit renewals for cannabis facilities while exempting retailers from these requirements. Recently, staff has met with local cannabis retailers who expressed concerns about their operational sustainability, and to address these issues, staff recommends that the City Council consider lowering the cannabis sales tax rate from 10% to 5%. Concerning the fiscal impact of lowering the cannabis sales tax rate from 10% to 5%, retail cannabis tax revenue has been declining since fiscal year 21-22. Last year, we received over $1.5 million. This year, the Finance Division is projecting that the city will only receive $1.2 million. As such, if the retail tax were cut in half, we would lose from $600,000 to $750,000 annually in revenue. That concludes my staff report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Holmes?
If I may, I do want to add one addition for the council's context and consideration. At the state level, so there is the local retail tax, but at the state level, there's also a state excise tax that our dispensaries pay. And currently that's set at 15%. So in addition to our 10%, they also pay 15% at the state level. There was some new legislation that had come out that actually would raise that state excise tax to 25% effective July 1. And so that is set to go into play July 1st of this year. Now, there is some legislation that has been proposed that would essentially keep the rate the same. However, there has been no forward progress with respect to how that is going to pan out. So part of the consideration in bringing this item forward was really taking in mind that additional 10% hike that they're also going to be getting at the state level, which is going to take it up to the 25%. And so we're already one of the highest here in Southern California. So just a little more context for y'all to consider. Thank you.
We'll take public comments at this time. Anyone that wants to come up, just state your name and you'll have a total of 3 minutes. It'll be on the screen.
Hello, Scott Russick. Oh, am I on? Hello?
It's on.
Hello, hello. Hi. Nice to see everyone debating between glasses or non-glasses here. Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, City staff, Team DHS, great to see everybody. Most of you know I'm Scott Russick, the president of the Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance Network, CV-CAN. Our mission is rather simple, to be a reasonable and productive voice for our members in the cannabis community here in the Coachella Valley, as well as the great state of California. I'm here to voice strong support, not just support, strong support for the proposed reduction in the cannabis retail sales tax from 10% to 5%. This is a necessary and forward-thinking adjustment that will benefit consumers, local businesses, and the overall economic health of Desert Hot Springs. Desert Hot Springs, as staff pointed out, was and continues to be a pioneer in the cannabis industry, embracing legal cannabis early and continuing to support the industry to the best of its ability ever since. However, local operators are struggling to stay viable under the current tax burden. The reality is that high taxation at the state level, which, as Ms. Whelms pointed out, would become even higher with the state excise tax this July, combined with an inability to deduct normal business expenses pursuant to Federal Rule 280E, rising operational costs, continued competition from illicit sellers, has put legal cannabis retailers at a severe disadvantage. The city's already seen a decline in retail cannabis revenue, as mentioned. It's my belief that without intervention, this trend will continue as consumers seek lower prices elsewhere, or even worse, turn to unregulated markets. By reducing the retail tax to 5%, we can help level the playing field for our licensed retailers, keep tax revenue within the city, and encourage compliance with legal regulations. A thriving legal cannabis market benefits DHS through job creation, continued investment, and increased long-term revenue from a stabilized industry. Yep, the change may lead to an initial decline in tax revenue, but that must be weighed, or should be weighed, against the alternative, a continued decline in businesses, job losses, and ultimately the potential collapse of a sector that has been vital to our local economy. The decision before you is not just about taxation. It's about the sustainability of an industry that has brought significant revenue to the city over the years. I urge the council to support this tax reduction as a necessary measure to ensure the long-term success of both local cannabis businesses and the city itself, and sincerely applaud your efforts and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hello, city staff. My name is Abraham Robin. I'm one of the owners of IVTHC. Had the pleasure of doing business here in Desert Hot Springs since 2016. Desert Hot Springs was the first city that actually gave us a license and allowed us to operate, which we are very appreciative for. As many have already mentioned to you, there's no doubt that the industry itself in cannabis is definitely trending downwards. Definitely does not help, the amount of taxes that we do pay. As Ms. Whelms already pointed out, we pay a 10% here for the city of Desert Hot Springs, 15% excise tax to the city, And, we don't want to forget our currently 7.75% sales tax as well to Riverside County. So it's a pretty high-end tax rate, especially for our consumers. You guys have noticed within the last year plus inflation, prices from gasoline to eggs in the supermarket. I can probably go on and on. A lot of people forget that even though cannabis is legal on a recreational side, many of our consumers today primarily use it for medicinal reasons, and helps cope with a lot of everyday issues that a lot of us may have. So I do sit here and I urge the city staff to approve this. It definitely will help out the playing field. Unfortunately, with the tax rates, the illicit market is definitely benefiting from this, and we'd really like to keep everything here. We'd like to keep it legally safe. We don't want any more work for our police department that already deals with enough of just dealing with cannabis sales in the streets. They definitely have enough issues, but lowering this tax rate will help those customers keep walking into our stores. It'll keep us in business. It'll keep the residents here in Desert Hot Springs employed. These are all really, really important things to think about, and I urge you all to make the decision that you feel is best for the city as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
And so sorry, I'll tell you, Elliot Lou Griffin, hi. The homeless did ask me to come down and represent them. They say that I'm most effective, in talking to them and everything. So I would say this. I'm not even going to be rhetorical, because I was going to say it's funny to say that this committee is sitting here talking about marijuana, but just passed the ordinance from the federal court where the Supreme Court says no marijuana, and then they still say marijuana. But the minute the Supreme Court says, hey, go over there and crack down on the homeless, they put in an ordinance against them. So to go, and the guy just came up here and said, hey, we pay these taxes. They passed that on to the consumer. I'm sorry. I'm an avid marijuana. I'm not here to shut down the marijuana industry. I told them, matter of fact, get air fresheners in Cathedral City on top of your buildings where you grow them at, so they'll keep, the smell will go down. But to come in here and say, okay, we're going to crack down on the homeless for the federal court, and then to come in here and say, oh, we're going to give them a break in the cannabis industry after the federal court says no, I'm sorry, we shouldn't do that. I think we should go up like the state of California says, I'm sorry, but they're going to pass it on to the consumers anyway, and go up 20%. That way we could create jobs for the homeless. That way we get porta potties for the homeless. That way we could get porta showers for the homeless. That way we get trash cans for the homeless. I say we go up on them. I mean, they're already paying 7 cents. I'm not against them. But then I'm looking to see where you guys are at. 1 minute we're saying we're going to go with the Supreme Court, then the next minute we're saying, well, we're going to go against the Supreme Court. Do you see what I mean? I'm going to use that one as this example. 1 minute we want to go hard, next minute we want to go lenient. Actually, they got so much money, they got on a billboard 1 million served. I thought they were McDonald's. I ain't gonna lie. I said, oh my God, they shouldn't have said that. Over 1 million. I'm proposing that they don't even own billboards no more. You can't own smoking billboards for the tobacco marble guy went out the window. Alcohol went out the window. We want the marijuana billboards to go out the window now. Everybody, it's not a knock on them because everybody know where to get marijuana at anyway. Do you see what I mean? So it's not like we're just advertising the kids now. We're not advertising the adults that know where to go and buy it at. So I'm just asking that we just go all one way. They should get air fresheners, top of the grow buildings. Start about 3 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, I'm asking that we go up on them. Don't cut them no break. All else fails, we can use this for porta potties, porta showers, trash cans, so we don't see the feces and stuff around the community.
Thank you, sir. Any other speakers?
Pass it on to the consumer.
Any other speakers? All right, we'll close the item. We'll open it up for discussion. I just want to say this was brought to my attention last year, and a few of the retailers came to me after the cultivation tax was lowered, and we were looking at opportunities in this next budget to be able to support what the industry is saying is happening. I was baffled by the state legislator even considering raising the tax. If you can imagine, we have our 10%, and then the state has 35% or 25% on top of that. I mean, it'd be ridiculous. So I strongly urge us as a city to sign on to opposing that bill if we can, or the bill that's going to support keeping it where it's at, whichever it is. But I also think it's time that we consider lowering this tax, and I would truly urge my fellow council members to lower it to the 5%. Mr. Carter, is the Q on? Sorry, I should have checked it. It didn't come across, but that's fine. Go ahead.
I have a couple of questions, if I could, Ms. Newsom. What we would be working on today is a report for you to bring back to us an ordinance with a set tax rate on it. So voting today is not actually going to lower or raise anything. It's just to direct you to bring us back.
That is correct.
An
It's for the city
ordinance.
council
Okay.
to discuss and provide direction to staff.
And you mentioned the history of our retail businesses here in Desert Hot Springs and the original lottery back in 2016 for those 16 licenses. And right now you say we have 5, correct? Is that what I heard you say was 5 operating dispensaries or what, we changed the name on them too to what? Retail.
They're storefront
retail outlets.
So we have 7 actually, but the 5 are of the original 16.
5 of the original. And so,
Yes.
and how many have we actually, because we set that original cap at 16, and the people that have turned in their licenses have lost those. So what is our cap now?
So the cap has never changed. It's simply that
It's still 16.
Right. It's because the original authorized applicants would have had to transfer, and that's why I made that mention, which is that if you were fully permitted, there is a process for essentially the transfer. However, if you just go out of business, or you're revoked or you're suspended, that original authorized location is forever gone.
So could, just a random person come in and apply we've got, so in effect, we have an artificial cap now of.
That's correct.
What would our artificial cap be?
So of the ones that are currently operational, those are the only ones that could be transferred.
So that would be 5?
It'd be 7.
7, okay. And I think that was very wise of the council back then to put that cap on, because we'd avoided the problems that Palm Springs had with no cap and having 20, 30, 35 dispensaries, retail storefront, and they're in business for a week and they go away. And we've avoided that here. So the market, I think, has set our cap at 5, because that's what the market here would bear. Would sort of make sense. But where I'm going with this is since you're bringing back an ordinance to work on the tax rate, would it make sense for us to also at that same time revisit that?
So it's.
I'm trying to save us some time. To get it.
I know. So it's a very complicated response. I think it'd be at least appropriate to have a discussion. However, I don't think it'd be appropriate for us to bring back an ordinance at this time, because there's so many factors to consider.
Okay.
We would be doing 2 things, right? We would be saying that, 1, the market is competitive, and so we'd like to reduce the cannabis sales tax, but then we would also be saying that we'd like to bring in more competitors. So those are things to consider before we do both. I would recommend that we do this first and then have a discussion as to the impacts of opening up that cap.
Well, I do like the idea of us having ideally the market would set the cap, and I think that's what Palm Springs was trying to do by leaving it wide open. and the market has set the cap there because they're constantly coming and going out of
Yeah.
business, so they're having a
If-
level that kind of stays.
If I may, I don't think it's the cap we need to consider. I think it's that there probably needs to be a mechanism if one of those goes out of business, that the location remains still open for application rather than it just to become obsolete.
That was where I was going after that with this, would this be the time to look at that as well, or do you think it would be better to bring that back under a separate
I think they should be
umbrella?
separated,
Okay.
yes, correct.
And then I share with the mayor's concern. My eyes kind of fell out of my head when the city manager mentioned that the state was going up to 25%. And, you know, Abe and you guys, if we don't do this, then if the state goes 25% and we go back down to 10, it's still going to be the same. So I do think we should really make an effort with our state assembly members to really point that out and see if we can roll that back. But I am completely in favor of proceeding and directing them to bring us back a new ordinance. That's what I've got.
I don't have any bills in the queue. Any bills or comments?
I thought I did.
It's not showing up. It's okay.
Okay.
It's been broken for years.
So I'm a big supporter of this. You know, the cannabis industry saved our city. Let's just be very blunt about it. Our town was on the verge of bankruptcy, and the cannabis industry saved our city. It gave us now an industrial district. It gave us different retail opportunities. It's given us a tremendous amount of jobs. When COVID was here and Palm Springs was running a $20 million deficit and other cities were running massive deficits, if I recall correctly, we were, 600, 700,000 maybe in the red, give or take, kind of thing, if I recall? If it was a...
Actually, during COVID, we didn't have a deficit.
Okay, so...
We did reduce revenue and some other,
Right.
retail cannabis tax revenue really increased. But
Right.
we did not run a deficit.
So, I mean, and that, you know, really comes to my point with that. The reality is this: if you keep it higher and if you raise it even higher, the industry's already hit by the illicit market. It's only going to increase the illicit market activity. The state is not going to decrease their 15% or whatever. The 25% is just absurd. I mean, that, if you simply do the math on that, that ends up being 37% versus what would be 27% in its current state if we go down to 5%. So we're helpful with that. We do need to, I'm all about trying to make them competitive, keep them alive, keep them successful, keep them, doing what they can do. And it's going to be incumbent upon local government to make these changes, because the state's just not going to do that. They're $80 billion in the hole, $40 billion in the hole. I've even seen where the city of San Diego, raised the cannabis tax 3% because they're $250 million in the hole. And it's contradictory of what should be happening, and that. So I think this is a great example of that. And I'm willing to make a motion in support unless we have other people to
I'll
speak.
come back to you. Anything from two of you? Go ahead. No, she said go ahead.
So I completely concur with Councilmember Voss, and I also fully support this reduction for the retail cannabis tax for our city. We need to get behind you, and we do support you guys.
Okay, first of all, Mayor Pro Tem, I think what you want to do should be separate, and I don't think that's part of this. Initially, we got into the cannabis business as a way for reserves. With respect to the recall, you guys have been good to us. You pay your taxes. We did something different with the cultivators because they weren't paying their taxes. Part of this is about good business. The state has allowed the illicit sales. That's not your fault. when they came to us to try and figure out what they were supposed to do, I understood we had a problem then. We have a problem now because they're trying to figure out how to do their deficit. That's not our fault. Palm Springs and other cities did too many retailers. They had to drop it down. But I have to remember you've been good to us, and I need to stay right there. With respect to 16 and you're now 7, it's because people started wrong. People didn't have a business plan. They thought it was the same thing you did before when it was in the streets. It's going to be easy to get a $5 bag because that's what you did before, and didn't understand. There were people that put their house up without even thinking, and they're not here anymore. So my thing is, I really didn't want to do it, but I understand the total economy, and I have to go back to you guys have been good to us, and we need to be good to you. And you had a thing about labs and how you get your product, and then you find out it's not good anymore. The state is not telling you what they're supposed to be telling you. Tobacco's going to come in, and then they're going to try and raise it higher. About to curse. No. So I totally agree. Totally agree. I'm done.
Mr. Boss.
I'd like to move item number 1, the cannabis retail sales tax.
What's the recommendation on the percentage? Is that 10%?
Tax rate from 10% down to 5%.
Second. There's a motion and a second. Is there more discussion? So what the motion is to bring back an ordinance that would show that the reduction of the tax for the cannabis retail sales would go to 5% from 10%. Clear enough? Thank you very much. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you for being with us tonight. That is the only item on our agenda. We had no items pulled from the consent calendar. Do we have anybody did not make public comments during the public comment period that would like to make public comments now? See nobody coming forth. Before we adjourn, Public Safety Commission will meet on April 10th, the Planning Commission on April 14th, and the City Council will be back on the 15th. We are adjourned.
Oh.
Abraham, I'll catch up with you.